Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Doesn't matter what time you're watching us. Welcome to my Lacan Broadcasting Network. This is your coach, Ida, Ambassador Ida, that is going to come in today to give you another health bulletin. And today I'm going to be talking about the 10 dangerous ingredients in our foods that we need to avoid no matter what. Okay, we need to avoid this. But first, I want to let you know something. You know, the Word of God said in 3 John second chapter, it says, Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul will prosper. So this is important for us to learn about our body. It is important for us to learn about our health so that our health will prosper. That's why it's so important for you to read the Word of God so we know exactly what the Lord has to say about our health. And it's very important for us to get informed about the scientific things that have to do with our health, the things that are over the outside that are dangerous for our health, so we can stay healthy. Why we need to stay healthy, ambassadors? We need to be healthy because we have a great job to do, okay? And we need to spread the kingdom of God all over the world, and we cannot do that and fulfill our purpose and the word that God has given to us and infiltrate the world systems without us being healthy so we can do the job that he gave it to us. So it's very important for you to know it. So let's start. Let's put that PowerPoint and let's start with our first ingredient. Okay, so in a minute the PowerPoint is going to come. Hi, Miss Ambassador Veronique, how you doing? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you're watching this, you can take pictures of the slides. Hi, Ambassador George, how you doing? You can take pictures of the slides if you want to, okay? Make sure that you share this and you can rewatch it to make sure that you know the ingredients. Now, the first thing before we start discussing the ingredients, I want to tell you that reading labels is the most important thing you can do when you're buying your food. You want to make sure that you're reading your labels. Not only you want to read the nutrient content, but you want to read the ingredient list. It's important to read the ingredient list. Now, I want to remind you that ingredient lists are in order of amount. So the first ingredient in the list is what you have the most. And then as they go less and less and less, that's the order that it goes to. So the first ingredient is what you have the most, and the last ingredient is what you have a little bit. Okay, so if you find junk and names that you cannot pronounce and things that you know that is in this list, in the first 3 or 4 names in the list of ingredients, you don't want to eat that food. Okay, you don't want to consume that food. So that's very important for you to know. So make sure that you not only are reading the nutritional labels, but you're also reading the ingredient, because it might have, balanced nutritional label, but when you go to the ingredients that they're getting it from are not nutrition ingredients, and you might not be able to absorb it in your body properly. You might have the right amount, but then it might have synthetic of those particular vitamins and minerals and proteins, and your body would not be able to use it anyway. So that's very important that you read the ingredient list as well. And remember what I said: the first ingredient is what you have the most, the last ingredient is what you have the least. Okay, so let's go to the next one now. To the first ingredient that you want to avoid is palm oil. What is palm oil? Palm oil is oil that comes from corn, soybeans, and palms that they hydrogenated. That means that they go through a process to convert it into a trans fat, because a trans fat will make foods last longer in the shelves. Okay, so because they make food last longer in the shelf, they do that to the fat, and in order to change it. But what happens with that type of fat? That's the type of fat that will stick to your arteries, okay, that will increase your bad cholesterol, decrease your good cholesterol, and cause cardiovascular diseases like arteriosclerosis, like heart attack, like strokes, like raise your blood pressure. So that's the one reason why you don't want to use any palm oil or any hydrogenated oil. So when sometimes they don't put it as palm oil, they tell you in the ingredient list that it have a hydrogenated oil. So if they says that it have a hydrogenated oil, or it says that it have a trans fat oil or fat, you don't want to consume that. Okay, and you find this in a lot of the junk food. Okay, a lot of the chips, even healthy chips, organic, that they are organic, might contain palm fat. And things that are fried also, you might find a lot of the palm oil and hydrogenated oil. So you want to make sure that you stay away from fried food. When you go to a restaurant and you order something that is fried, it's cheaper for them to use palm oil or hydrogenated oil, because it's going to last longer in their storage. So most of the fried food that you eat in restaurant and most of the fried food that you buy in the grocery store is made out of the palm oil or the hydrogenated oil. So you want to avoid those, okay? That's ingredient number 1. So now let's go to ingredient number 2. And give me just a second. We'll be going to ingredient number 2. Oh, I passed to number 3 too quick. Number 2, okay. So number 2 is shortening, which is another type of bad fat, but this fat is solid. Okay, it's solid instead. It's also a hydrogenated oil. They also use it for frying, and they use it in a lot of foods, especially on cheese and on baked goods. They use shortening on baked goods like donuts and breads and things like that. They use the shortening. So you want to eliminate those because as well as the palm oil, it also stick to your arteries. Also increase your metabolic syndrome. What is metabolic syndrome? Metabolic syndrome is a number of symptoms like high sugar, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, belly fat, and all that will put you at risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. So that's exactly why you don't want to have either shortening or the palm oil. So what you want to do, you want to choose healthy fats. And what are the healthy fats? Like olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, and fats that you can find, that have omega-3, like chia seeds and flax seeds. They also have omega-3. Those are the kind of oils and good fats that you want to consume. You don't want to consume anything that is like the shortening. You don't want to consume anything that is like the hydrogenated oils, because like I tell you, will clog your arteries. Okay, it will oxidize and clog your arteries and cause that heart attacks, and it called strokes, heart failure, and high blood pressure. So you want to eliminate all that kind of fat. So remember, don't buy baked goods. You want to bake something, bake it at home that you know exactly what you put it in, because all these donuts and cookies and Twinkies, all those have all of that, and you don't want that. Okay. So now ingredient number 3: white flour, white pasta, rice, breads, and all kind of baking goods that are made with white flour. You need to eliminate it. Why? Because what white flour is that they take the grain and they remove all the husk, okay, and then remove all the bran, and they stay with the white part. Why they stay just the white part? Because the white part will last long in the shelves. And remember that our food industry is all about the money. Not about your health. It's all about productivity and all about the money, the profit. Okay. So if they take the husk and if they take the bran and they stay with just the white part, okay, it will last longer. But what happened with that? When they do that, they're removing the fiber, they're removing the vitamins, they're removing the minerals. So this refined grains and white pasta are devoid of any nutrients. You having no nutrients whatsoever when you're eating something with that is white. Okay, so you want to make sure that you don't eat those, because they will be digested real fast, because it's easy sugars, and that's going to raise up your sugar and raise up your insulin. And remember that if you raise up your insulin and you really didn't need that much sugar, what's going to happen to that sugar? It's going to turn into fat. Okay, and what happens when it turns into fat? It's going to increase the fat in your belly area. It's going to increase your fat around your organs. It's going to increase your weight. You're going to increase your risk for high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes. So that's why you don't want to eat nothing refined. You want to change to eating whole grains like oats and barley. And for example, if you're going to eat rice, you want to eat like brown rice or wild rice, red rice also, and there's black rice also that you can have. Those come with the whole husk and everything. It takes longer to cook and more water to cook them, but they're healthier. Okay, they're healthier. And if you are trying to lose weight, if anybody here that watching me are trying to lose weight and that's your goal, you have to eliminate completely all white flour, all baked goods, pasta, rice, all those that are white flour, and that even the wheat, because the wheat have a lot of gluten. And remember that gluten will give you inflammation. And sometimes they don't use the whole wheat. They process it, and if they process it, that means that they're removing the husk and the bran of it, and you're getting just empty grain right there that's not gonna do no good for your health. So it's very important for us to make sure that we eliminate all white flour and things that are made with the white flour. Remove it completely out of your diet. Okay, to eliminate gluten, to eliminate inflammation, to eliminate the possibility of increasing your insulin and your sugar and causing heart disease and diabetes. Okay, so now ingredient number 4, high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is a type of sugar, it's a refined type of sugar that they made out of the corn. Now, let me start here. The corn here in the United States mostly, 99.99% of it is a GMO. Means that it's synthetic, in other words, that's not good. And then they make high fructose corn syrup out of it. So this is like a devil right there. It's completely evil. This type of sugar increase your fat storing hormone. It also cause a fatty liver. It give you insulin resistant. It give you diabetes. Our body cannot use the high fructose. So what you're doing is that you're eating the high fructose. You're increasing your insulin. You're increasing your sugar levels. Okay, and the body cannot use it anyways. So what happened? It turned into fat that covers your liver, because remember that the process that turning the sugar into fat happened in the liver. So it give you fatty liver, increase your high cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, increase your triglycerides, increase your risk for diabetes and for heart disease, and so on and so forth. And you find the high fructose in a lot of drinks, sugary drinks. Okay, you find it in a lot of sodas, you find it in a lot of bagels. Another thing is that high fructose is very cheap. So the people, the food industry, you love to use high fructose corn syrup because it's very cheap. And remember, they are all about saving money, people. They're not about saving us. They're all about saving money and making money. So because it's cheap, they use that. Not only that, the lasting shelf lasting of high fructose corn syrups is very long. So not only do they use it to sweeten the food, but they also use it as a preservative. Okay, they also use it as an emulsifier to thicken the food and also to add color to some foods. So you can find high fructose corn syrup even in meats that are pre-packaged or pre-cooked. You can find it in vegetables that are prepackaged and pre-cooked. You can find it in, like I said, in sugary drinks, in baked goods, almost everywhere. So you need to read the labels. Not only that if you already have that in your food, and they might have other type of sugars as well. Remember that sugar have over 70 names. And sugar is the cause of many diseases, including cancer. So you need to avoid the high fructose sugar, and you need to avoid, like if you're reading the ingredient list and there's more than one sugar, let's say they don't have high fructose corn syrup, but they have other types of sugars there, you want to avoid that food immediately. And if you see sugar or high fructose corn syrup in the first 3 or 4 names in the ingredient list, you want to avoid that food completely. Again, cook at home, people. Cook at home, because high fructose corn syrup is what I call a sweet poison. Okay, so let's go to number 5. Okay, number 5 are artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners. So what are artificial sweeteners? You can find it as the name as aspartame, that is Nutracid or equal, saccharin, that is sweet and low or sugar twin, sucralose, that is Splenda. Okay, so these artificial sugars are what they do is that they are carcinogens. They hijack your metabolic system. Okay, they are hormone disruptors. They make you feel like that you want more food. So you're thinking that because you're eating something that have no sugar or have an artificial sugar, that means that you're not going to get fat. In other terms, is that all these things that have the artificial sugar have other type of sugar. It might have the white flour. It might have other type of things that you're not supposed to do. So it make it more addictive for you to eat it, and you're gaining weight not by the sugar, but you're gaining weight by all the other ingredients that particular food item has, because now you're addicted to that food item. Okay, and then you eating that food item a lot, and now you are going to increase your diabetes, your all that, plus you're getting a carcinogen, and you're going to be having some hormone disbalances. Especially and another thing is that this kind of sugar is also what is called obesogenic. That means that it hijack your fat cells, so it's hard for you to lose weight. So please say no to all artificial sugars. Now, when you buy a healthy sugar that have no calories, like stevia, for example, or monk fruit, make sure that you buy organic stevia, and that when you read out the ingredients, that's all it has, is stevia. because now they have like Truvia, for example. Truvia is a combination of sucralose, which is Splenda, and stevia together, and they make you believe that it's healthy. It's not. It has sucralose. So when you buying those like monk fruit, or you buying coconut sugar, or you buying uh, the stevia, make sure that is that ingredient alone, nothing else, and it's completely organic. Otherwise, do not consume it. Okay. Okay. So let's go to our next one. Number 6 is sodium benzoate and potassium benzoate. This is a preservative that they use in sodas to prevent mold inside the cans and inside the bottles. Okay, because you know that sodas are made, and you don't know how many years it's been made already, and in the store, in the storage room and of the company, then it goes into the different storage rooms of the different big companies. Then it goes to the local grocery store, and then it goes to the back storage of the local grocery store, and then from there it goes to the aisle, and then from there you buy it, and then whenever God knows when you're going to have it and drink it. Okay, so what they do is that they put this kind of chemicals, okay, inside the soda, so that they can prevent the mold. But they have studies that are saying that the sodium benzoate and the sodium and the potassium benzoate are carcinogens and are linked to serious thyroid damage. That's why the increase of people suffering hypothyroidism and having thyroid cancers is increasing. Okay, because it damages your thyroid. Also, it gets a buildup of the benzene get into, especially when you buy sodas that are in a plastic container. If it's in the heat, you know how sometimes you go grocery shopping and you put it in your trunk, and there's some people that, because they don't want the kids to drink it right away, they leave it in their trunk, and then they take up 6x6 to put in the refrigerator so the kids don't drink it all at once. Okay, so they are in the heat right there, and if they're in the heat and they're combined with any ascorbic acid, which means any vitamin C, the damage that it can cause to your body is even worse, because it gets accumulated with the heat. Okay, it gets concentrated with the heat. So do not. The same thing happened with water bottles, and you put water bottles and you leave it in the BPH in the plastic goes more into the water. So you don't want, when you buy something, some drinks in the refrigerator, in the uh, grocery store that are in plastic containers, you make sure that you bring it home and put it in the refrigerator right away. Okay? Right away. So please say no to soda. Anyway, soda doesn't have any nutritional value. Remember that I told you before that the only thing that's hi, Ambassador Matik, how are you? So remember that I always tell you that soda is a whole bunch of chemicals, okay, with a whole bunch of sugar and a little bit of water. It doesn't have no nutritional value, okay, and it just damages your body in every way they possibly can. So say no to sodas. Say no to sodas, okay? No to sodas. Now, number 7. Number 7 is BHA. What is BHA? It's another potential cancer-causing preservative, but it has been deemed safe by the FDA. They said that it prevents the spoilage of food. Another thing that they use in order to make food last longer. Okay, what this particular ingredient does is a major endocrine disruptor. That means that it keep your hormones crazy, going crazy. Okay, and your hunger, especially your hunger hormones, the agreling and agreling, agreling, it keep it crazy. So you don't know when you need to stop eating. You grilling. That's the right way to say it, grilling. Okay, that means that doesn't tell your body when you stop eating. So it make food addictive when the food have BHA. So you want to make sure that you don't have that, and you find a lot of BHA in a lot of cereals. A lot of the cereals have BHA. A lot of the cereal. It's also found in packaged foods like hamburger helper and things like that, and also on cosmetics. So girls, ladies that are listening to me, read also the ingredients in your cosmetics. You want to get cosmetics that are free of parabens and free of a lot of the chemicals that can damage your hormones, that can cause cancer, that can hijack your fat cells. You want to eliminate those things. Okay, completely. Try to buy things that are organic, or go to Google, do a search, do some DIY recipes. Actually, I do my lotion myself, and I do my uh, uh, oils and serums. I make those at home also as well for myself. So you can do that. So in order for you to avoid the butylated hydrogenase, you want to avoid all processed food, because it's almost in all processed food. Okay, and the thing is that I know that it have other names too. They hide it with other names too. I just don't know the other names yet, but as soon as I find the other names, I will put it here for you to know, to have it. But if all you have to do is ditch processed food and cook at home fresh, that you know exactly what ingredients your food have. It's important for you to do that. Okay, so let's go to number 8. Number 8 is sodium nitrates and sodium nitrites. So what are those things? These things are added into your meats, into lunch meats, like a hot dogs and bacon and sandwich hams, cold cuts. All those things have this type of chemical. What they are the worst offenders, and they are believed to cause colon cancer and metabolic syndrome. Remember what I told you metabolic syndrome is? Metabolic syndrome is a group of symptoms like high sugar, high triglyceride, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, uh, high waist circumference, and all this when they're all high, that means that you are at risk for diabetes, at risk for heart disease, at risk for an autoimmune disease. So you don't want to have metabolic syndrome, and these particular ingredients help you have metabolic syndrome, so you don't want to have that. That's right, Miss Ambassador Veronique. So you don't want to have that. So the one thing that you want to do, you want to eliminate lunch meats. Now if you like to have lunch meats because you like to have ham and stuff, then buy, for example, let's say you like turkey. So take a turkey breast and cook it at home, and then you slice it, and you can save it in the refrigerator, and save it into portions, freeze it one part so it doesn't damage as fast, and then you defrost it when you are ready to use it later, and just have maybe like 10 slices for now, for this week, and then like that, so that you know exactly what it have. You want to make sure that if you buy any cold cuts, because you want to have the time to cook, then that they are fresh, and that they're nitrates and nitrates free. And you can find some of those if you go to a health food store, or you go to Trader Joe's here in the United States. There's a store that sell a lot of healthy foods, and Whole Foods as well. They sell a lot of healthy food. You might find cold cuts without the nitrates and the nitrates. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Artificial. I meant over here red, not rest. But eliminate all artificial colors: blue, green, red, and yellow artificial colors. You can find those in a lot of foods, okay? Especially on cereals, like Lucky Charms, and those cereals like Fruit Loops, okay? Or the Fruity Pebbles, those cereals that have all kind of colors. You can find that in all kind of baked goods, especially all those cupcakes and things like that have frostings, and they change the color of the frosting. You're gonna know that they add up artificial colors. And then on many processed food have artificial colors, okay? And the artificial colors are being linked to thyroid disease, to adrenal dysfunction, to bladder and kidney disease, to brain cancers, to ADHD, which is hypersensitivity in the kids, attention deficit hypersensitivity, and then even in autism. We've been linked to even in autism. They said they did a study, and they took a group of kids that was having ADHD and ADD, and they eliminate the colors, the artificial colors of their diet, and they found that their behavior changed, and they were able to focus more, okay, and to stay calm more than when they were receiving a diet full of all those colors. So it's very important for you to eliminate all different food colors, additives in your foods, and especially for the children. Make sure that you remove it, especially for the children. Like, people always tell me, when I tell a list like this, when I write talk about a list of ingredients like this, people think, oh, but we're not going to die right away. But you don't understand that these things are accumulative, and they accumulate in your body, and your fat cells are hijacking some of those chemicals, and your cells are hijacking some of those chemicals, and the chemicals are stored in the fat. okay, and things like that, and eventually are going to damage your body, because remember that every single thing that you consume need to be metabolized, and when things are metabolized in your cells, what do they give? The leftover is a free radical, with a negative ion, negative chemical inside your system that is going to cause oxidation. What is oxidation? It's like rusting, like the rusting of a metal when it gets water. The same thing happens inside your body, that oxidation, and when that oxidation happens, that causes inflammation. And in what is the inflammation is the root cause of all chronic diseases. So that's why you need to stop all these things, because they are cumulative in your body. Okay, so much goes back to that. Yes, everything goes back into diet. Everything, we are not born with none of these diseases. All these diseases and conditions, we're not born with it. We are might be predisposed. We have a gene that will predispose us to have that disease, but that doesn't mean that we need to have it. If you give them the right environment to your genes, okay, and you have the right diet and lifestyle and everything that you're supposed to have, you might be able to avoid it. Or if you already have a disease, you might be able to control it. Okay, you might be able to eliminate future complications. Okay, and you might even reverse it if you change your lifestyle. So that's why it's so important for us to get this knowledge, okay, and to change our lifestyle and to make sure what we put in our mouth, because we are what we eat, and our food can be our poison, and our food can be our medicine. So I'd rather for it to be my medicine than my poison. So because I want it to be my medicine, I make sure that I check what I'm putting in my mouth, okay, and what I'm putting in the things that I'm cooking, and what I'm cooking and what I'm buying. So it's important for you to know these things, okay. So that is for number 9. Oh, another places that you can find a lot of the artificial colors is in medicine, especially all those over the counters. Like if you find yourself that you have a bad cough and you need to buy a cough syrup, make sure that you find one free of artificial colors. And they usually do the artificial colors and the artificial flavors into the syrups and stuff like that, and medication for the children mostly. So they want the children to be able to drink it, so and take it, so they put all those things into that. So if your children have the cold, things like that, trying to find things that are natural, like elderberry and vitamin C, things that are natural. Make sure that they don't put any artificial colors or artificial flavors. Another thing is that, like I said, everything that is artificial, that means that it's not natural. If it's not natural, that means that they're using chemicals. If they're using chemicals, they're damaging your body. So anything that says artificial flavor, artificial sugar, and then, for example, when it's something that have to give you a smell, like a candle, things like that, it says artificial smell, or it says fragrance. That when they put the word fragrance, it's a permission that they give to the industry not to list the ingredients that they put in there to create that fragrance, because they don't want to lose their patent on that particular formula. But they be putting all kind of chemicals and parabens and colors or whatever it is that they put in it, and causing damage into our body, and we don't know about it. So if it's a fragrance, if it's artificial colors, if it's artificial flavor, you know that if it's artificial, was not created by God. If it's not created by God, I don't want it, and you shouldn't want it either. Okay. And the last ingredient that we have is MSG. MSG is called monosodium glutamate, and it's a flavor enhancer. It's used in a lot of seasoning. And for all the Latino people that are listening to me, in the adobo, we use adobo to season everything. So adobo has a lot of MSG. Okay, so check. You can find adobo without MSG, or you can go to a health food store where they have all the different seasonings. And if you don't know which seasoning to mix with what to create adobo, you just go and find an adobo bottle, take a picture of the ingredients, and it tell you what you have: onion, peppers, oregano, parsley, whatever the combination that they have. And then you can go and buy all those different herbs naturally and mix it all at home together, so that way you eliminate completely all this MSG, because the MSG is a flavor enhancing, and it tastes good, but it raises your blood pressure, and it's very addictive, meaning that it make you eat more. So things like Doritos, a lot of the chips have a lot of MSG. All the salty chips, like potato chips and Cheetos and Doritos, all those things, they have a lot of MSG in order to keep your taste bud, wanting more because it's very addictive. Plus, it tastes good. Okay. And they still, having studies on how harmful it might be, but it also said that it hijacks your brain chemistry. Of course, if it can be addictive, that means it's hijacking your brain chemistry, because that means that your mind is wanting more and more and more of that. So it's sure it might be hijacking your brain chemistry. So it's very, very important for you to read labels and to make sure that you create things at home. Like I said, the seasoning, you can buy the different seasonings and create it at home, and create the mixture of your all-purpose seasoning of your adobo. That is what usually we use in the Latin community. Sorry for the noise. I'm cutting my grass. This is life. So, that's what happened with life. But like I said to you, make sure that you don't buy processed food, and that you read all your labels. Okay, so that you can stay healthy, that you can stay strong, that you make sure that you're using food as your medicine, and to fulfill the needs of your cells, and not to damage your body. Okay, because we sometimes are like the fish, we die by our mouth, because we're putting a lot of things that we don't supposed to in our mouth. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope this information is very important. Share everywhere, so that people have this information for themselves, and continue to spread the gospel and the kingdom message everywhere you go. Okay, so thank you so much. See you next bulletin.